Good morning, everyone in the listening audience. Thanks so very much for tuning in, all you great fans of real estate radio out there. My name is Erik Hatch, your host for today. I'm a realtor and the owner of Hatch Realty, and if you ever want to stop by and see us, we'd love for you to do so. We're located at 1205 16th Avenue South in Fargo, just across the street from Bernie's Liquors. So if you're over there getting a refreshing drink, come on over and buy or sell a house too. Booze and real estate don't always mix, but we'll let you come on over, whether you're drinking or not. We'd love to have you stop by. But here at the top of the hour, I want to share with you the most exciting sale we've had in the last few weeks. We listed a house, and in the first day it was listed, I'd like to say there was about 15 showings. We ended up having multiple offers on the place to the tune of, I think, 4 offers. We got the sellers, no joke, over 10% over their asking price. 10% not only covers all their real estate fees and their closing costs and everything else, but they walked away with more cash for their house than they ever thought humanly possible. How did that happen? Well, it's a combination. The right marketing gets enough people at the house. The right pricing will actually drive the price up. Oftentimes people say, I want to throw a number out there to see if anybody's going to bite. And that can be a really detrimental move if you're listing your house. Instead, if you can find that sweet spot, and that's one of our jobs is to help you stage, to of course market, but to help find that sweet spot for price. When we find it, we can drive the price up if there's enough buyers out there. And right now, we are in a euphoric place because if you're going to sell your house, I think we can hopefully create that situation for you given the right circumstances. So how is that possible? Well, we got to talk. I got to know what your house is worth. I need to help you out with some tips, some advice, and things that we can do to make sure your house sings a beautiful song. So let's talk. 701-369-4839 or head to livefargomoorhead.com to get a wonderful valuation of your house and find out what it's worth. But first things first, let's find out what's happening with real estate news this week. Hey, real estate fans, we have one of my favorites in studio with us once again. And if you could see him today, you'd say, man, that's a handsome mint shirt that your wife picked up. So good morning, Brian Johnson with Valley Mortgage.
Good morning, Erik. Thanks for having me today.
You bet. Seriously, your wife picked out your outfit, right?
She did. I got it as a Father's Day gift.
Well, you look dapper. You said Father's Day. How many kids do you have?
I have 2.
What ages?
They're 6 and 3.
So 6 and 3. How do you have time to work?
My wife is wonderful, and she takes care of them. So
yeah, you definitely married up, and I appreciate that about you, and I really appreciate that about your wife that she went slumming to hang out with you for a little while.
Yeah, she's great.
My wife has done the same, so I totally get it. But enough about our beautiful wives, and let's talk the real estate market, and more importantly, the things that are happening in the mortgage world. BJ, interest rates are going up, right?
They're starting to go up a little bit now. Yeah, typically they do in the summertime.
Really?
Yep. And for the past few years, we do see a little bit of a decline in the fall. This year might be different, though. We think they're probably going to still stay on the incline a little bit.
So a decline in the fall is not imperative. How come?
Well, I think the economy is recovering, and I think they're looking for rates to come back up. So we've been at extremely low interest rates for the last 10 years, and I think they're starting to slowly come up.
Well, so you're saying that the prime time to buy is no longer?
No, I think now is the time to buy because if you're going to take advantage of our still very low interest rates, now is the time because they could be 1/4 to 0.5% higher towards the end of the year.
But what does that mean in layman's terms? Because I can hear an interest rate and I can hear you say 1/4 or 1/2 or a full percent. What in the world does that mean for a buyer?
You know, depending on your loan amount, it could be $100 to $150 a month if you're looking at 0.5% higher in interest rate. So that's quite a bit of savings.
Now, make sure that my math isn't incorrect, but I've heard once, and I don't know if it was from you or from somebody else or just a guy on the street who was telling me things, but what it comes down to is 1% of your interest rate is traditionally 10% of your buying power. Is that about right?
Typically, yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so break that down. Let's talk numbers specifically, but again, if you're just tuning in, Mr. Brian Johnson of Valley Mortgage, and we're talking interest rates, we're talking numbers, and right now, I think the golden number for people, I say if you need to fully finance a house, that means PMI, that means your principal, that means your interest, that means your taxes and your specials and everything else on there. $150,000 house fully financed can be yours for about $1,000, maybe even a little less.
That's pretty close, yes.
Okay, so if we're using that rule of a 1% interest rate changes at 10%, would I believe that if interest rates shoot up a full percent, that now that house, instead of being $1,000, is probably about $1,100?
Yep, correct.
So that ends up being a lot of money. That's $1,200 a year over the life of an average mortgage. That's 1,200 times 30. That's $36,000.
Good
you
math.
See that quick math?
That was quick. Yes.
I Rain Man that one. That was really great. So if we're talking a $36,000 difference because the difference of 1 percentage point, what's that going to affect somebody if, say, their payment is, I don't know, if they're buying a $250,000 house?
Oh, it's gonna double about. So.
Yeah, and that's a painful amount.
It is.
That's a lot of cash. So I'd imagine that if somebody wants to go through the process, Brian, and they want to find out what their home is worth, they contact us. But if they want to find out if they qualify for a loan, what's the step for that?
They can either visit us at our office or visit us online and complete an online application. It's really good to start the process early so you get an idea of what you qualify for. The mortgage process, it can be easier now. It's just this last week, some of the mortgage programs actually loosened up some of their guidelines since the mortgage crisis. So that's promising. That's probably going to help more people qualify where they may not have qualified last year.
So people who struggle, low credit scores, people who are entrepreneurs who don't have 2 years under their belt.
Yeah.
Who else? Who are the other people that struggle?
I would say people that don't have enough down payment, but we do have some ways to help people with that low down payment, gift options from family members, secured borrowed funds. So we try to find the best programs that we can and the best options for people, get them on a plan so that they have something to strive and work for to get into a home.
Well, Brian, it's always fascinating to me to learn a little bit more about the mortgage world. But more importantly, I think that there's somebody out there listening right now who probably continues to hear us talk or has heard us ramble on about why now is the time. But time is fleeting, isn't it? I mean, we're really running out of time.
Oh, I don't think so. I think now is the time. It's a great time to buy. You're going to get in with a cheaper monthly payment right now. And I think home prices, as you probably know, are starting to increase a little bit more.
Sure are. Yeah.
So I think now is the time. And in that stance, yes, I guess time is running out to get a really stellar deal. But
right.
I think in our market, we're continuing to grow, and I think it's going to be a great time this year, next year.
Well, I believe that to be the fact, too, that Fargo is going to, and when I say Fargo, I, of course, mean the whole metro area, but our community is going to continue to grow and continue to thrive, but prices are going up. There's no way about it. House prices are going up. Mortgage rates are going up. So can somebody still get a deal out there? It's tougher to get a deal, but it's still better than renting, right?
That's right. Rent is going up also.
Yeah, believe you me, the people who own investment properties out there and apartments are taking advantage and raising their rents as well, and you've probably seen it and felt it as well. So, Mr. Brian Johnson, Valley Mortgage, if somebody wants to get pre-approved, if somebody wants to find out if they can even qualify, how can they contact you?
Contact my office. Call us at 701-461-8450 or visit us online at valleymortgageinc.com.
BJ, great to have you in studio with us. We're going to go to the break here in just a minute, but in the meantime, head to livefargomoorhead.com, find out what your home is worth, and if you want to connect with us, we'll get you in touch with Brian Johnson as well. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio. As always, I'm your host, Erik Hatch, and it's time now for the Erik Hatch team's picks of the week here on Real Estate Radio. These deals I do not want you to miss out on, because if you don't buy it, somebody else will, and then you're going to be heartbroken, and that's the last thing we want right now. These homes are incredible opportunities, and don't sleep on it or you can't sleep in it. Let's talk deals. We're first in South Fargo, right by Island Park. 385 7th Avenue South. This is a condo, and it's a huge condo. It's a wonderfully finished condo. It's a condo with an impeccable view. It's maintenance-free living at its finest. It's a bit of luxury right in the heart of town. $385,000 gets you over 2,200 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I believe it's underground parking. It's really hard to beat anything like this. This condo is superb. If you, again, are looking for the easy lifestyle, but the good lifestyle, this is going to be the place for you, especially if you're maybe one of those folks that's lucky enough to have a lake place, but you still want a place to hang your head in Fargo. I would say please check this place out. You can't go wrong. The second opportunity is in Horace, North Dakota. And in fact, this house sold in the first day, but poof, we find it back on the market. Unfortunately, the buyer lost their financing, so we're back on the market. 436 Southwood Drive in Horace. This is a beautiful one-story home on 1,248 square feet of a rambler. So that means with the basement, you're almost 2,500 square feet. That is a lot of house. And for $180,000, it's really difficult to find something that's a better deal right now. It's rural, wooded, peaceful, and yet still just a couple of minutes from all the main amenities that you need. It's the perfect eclectic blend of rural and city living. So please don't pass on this one. But finally, if you love the lakes, and I spent the last week at the lakes, and never did I think it'd be somebody who adores that kind of peace and serenity, but you have that here. We're in Hawley. In fact, if you're on the Downer Road, it's like the first turn before you get to like all the major lakes. This is on Lake 15, and the address is 27568 88th Avenue South in Hawley. But Lake 15 is a fisherman's haven and paradise. Some incredible fishing, and this lot is over 1.5 acres. On top of that, it comes with a trailer with well, septic, and electrical all right there. And for $160,000, man, you can't find lake property any less expensive than this. It's probably the closest lake between Fargo and Lakes Country. So you're going to capitalize on so many great opportunities. And if you want to see any of these properties, you need to get in contact with me, 701-369-4839, or head to livefargomoorhead.com to check out these and all our other listings. You know, if you're out there wondering, thinking, wrestling with, I want to get into real estate, I want to buy or I want to sell, and I just don't know who to hire. I, of course, would love the opportunity to interview to earn your business, but more importantly, these are some things I think you should look for when hiring a realtor. And this is probably the same across the professional business field whatsoever. So the first thing is make sure that your realtor is a full-time agent. I'd hope you wouldn't go and have surgery with a part-time doctor. I hope that you wouldn't put all your finances in the hands of somebody who is a part-time realtor. And the important thing to note with that is if we're doing this full-time, we should have a track record of success. We should have longevity in the business. We should understand the ins and outs and the ways in which we can manufacture a perfect deal for you. You wouldn't believe the amount of cash I've seen left on the table when somebody has an inexperienced realtor representing them. So that's really important. Make sure, first of all, that your realtor is experienced. The second thing that you want to make sure of is that you have somebody who has a great reputation. Now, don't get me wrong. There are folks out there who maybe are new in the business but are going to be great and yet have yet to develop their reputation. But I'm speaking more specifically of what are people's clients saying about them? Are they raving? Are they excited about what they've done? So it's important that if you are getting into business with someone, just go on the internet, type in their name, and then follow it up with the word review or reviews. There's a number of professional sites that we can't control as realtors, but the clients control the data that gets put on there. Make sure that the realtor that's representing you is well praised. It's important to do. Finally, I think this is the most important part, and maybe is one of the most overlooked pieces in this business. Be cautious of going for an all-for-one stop or shop. I use the medical reference quite often in this business, but it's imperative to talk about. I wouldn't want to go to a doctor who was able to check my eyes, my nose, my kidneys, my heart, and my lungs all at the same time. Those are all very different specialty areas, and you want to make sure that you have somebody who isn't the receptionist and who isn't the custodian who isn't every last piece of business from marketing to servicing to sales. This is a complex business, and the way in which the models are changing now is that people are getting leverage. I would highly encourage you to make sure that the folks that you hire have the right leverage. They have the right support staff around them so that you get expertise in every area. If your doctor's going to be the one checking your lungs, then you're going to have other people who are doing the data entry, who are sending you the postcard reminder, who are inputting all the information. It's imperative to make sure that, just like the medical field, you have specialists in every area who can concentrate on your biggest need. So when you're looking to hire a realtor, you want to have somebody who is full-time and experienced with a great reputation. And you, of course, want to have somebody who knows the business well enough to have leverage around them so they're not a one-stop shop for you. Let's talk about your real estate needs now. 701-369-4839 or head to livefargomoorhead.com. Oh my gosh, we are almost out of time, and I have been sitting on pins and needles waiting to share this with you. This has been the most exciting and most prestigious honor that my real estate team has ever received. The Wall Street Journal supports a group called Real Trends. They study realtors from across the country, and in fact, there's over 1 million realtors nationwide. That's a whole lot of people selling houses, and when the dust has settled, when everything came to conclusion, they measure two things. They measure number of transactions and they measure volume. Well, according to the Real Trends report for 2014, the number of transactions that the Erik Hatch team did put us as the 67th real estate team in the entire country. We are number 67 out of 1 million plus realtors. Holy cow, in Fargo, North Dakota, in this one of the smallest populated states in the nation, we are number 67 nationwide. So for me, I get to celebrate that with my team. First and foremost, the reason why we're successful is because of their talent, because of their drive, because of their passion, and their investment in our clients. The second is I get to celebrate with you, the listening audience, who oftentimes are our clients. You've put your trust in us. You have supported us. You have cheered us on. You've referred us. And all those things make a profound difference in the lives of myself and my team, and certainly in this community. So number 67 is something that I will boast of, not because of my accomplishments, but because of the team that I get to support and that I get to help lead. They are well deserving of this honor. And so if you're out there and you want to experience a little bit of this magic that I think our team has, we need to hear from you. 701-369-4839, or find out what your home is worth by going to livefargomoorhead.com, and maybe we can get you a ton of cash and it's time to move. That's it. The number 67 real estate team in the entire country is signing off. Okay, I'm not gonna say that like that. But most importantly, I'm excited about this, and we are heading out for today. Have a blessed day. Thanks so much for tuning into Real Estate Radio. I've been your host, Erik Hatch, on the Mighty 790 KFGO.